morning, Jay. Good morning, Scott. Christian. Your boss gonna tell you to jump. Your boss gonna tell you high. Your boss gonna tell you where you can. So Mother Nature gonna swallow balls alive. Summer sun on the blistering high. Knuckles bleed in the winter eyes. Hola, Lucas! If this drought don't kill us, gonna make us strong. And in the dust we thirst for rain. So only pray the rain don't bring down when the mother cursing bad winds came. Knocked down a good man's home. When his family crawled out from underground, he took a look around. He smiled and said that was close. Good morning, everybody. Focus. Focus. How's everybody doing? Everybody's good. Good morning, Lucas. Good morning, Katrina. DJ Dayglow. Good morning from Baltimore. Slumber Party Dagio. That's a good one. Angela, there's your new photo. Angela just purchased a small version of Il Trio, the photo behind us, because she's a patron. She got a discount. All you guys would. Guten Tag. Pennsylvania. Morgan. All right, guys. Man, so much stuff's going on. I got back, as you guys know, a few days ago from the storm back-to-back action. The shortwave trough blocking pattern stalled the trough right over the tornado alley, which is ingredients for tornadoes often. It's not unheard of that this happens. I think this is the fourth crazy May we've had in 2 decades, 2003, 2004, maybe 2005, one of those, 2008, 2011. So we've had a lull since 2012. This kind of goes along with climate models that are, as the planet warms, some of the models are saying that we'll see a slight increase in tornadoes, but we're going to see more erratic swings. So we're going to see the really low years and then the really high years, depending on where the jet stream is. So that's kind of interesting to consider and bring in. Let's see what else. Got back with my first outing with the scientific field operations team, and on our second day was a huge success, and we got what we set out to do. We had 3 cars positioned, and we're collecting data as kind of surrounding the tornado, sort of, as the tornado developed. Got very powerful and hit a farmstead right in front of our cameras. I can't wait to show you the footage, but the crew has requested that I hold off. We're doing a social embargo as we're pitching to Nat Geo, and then once Nat Geo, so they can have the exclusive of the video, and if they just choose to pick it up, then it'll be on Nat Geo, and then after that we can follow up. If not, then I get to upload it to you guys. I'm really more excited about uploading to you guys. Let's keep this all on the lid. I'm just sharing this with you guys only, all that, so please keep this between us. Really excited about all that. But the tornado formed, we were in place, and we sat there. It's coming right for me because I was on the northern end of the line of the dragnet that we created. It came right for me, and we sat there as long as we possibly could. And then we had to get out of the tornado's way. We flip around to watch it hit the farmstead. The barns around the farmstead exploded, and but the house was intact, and we ran in and we checked and made sure that nobody was home. So then we pushed on, but the storm by then was moving too fast, and that's usually the case when you stop and try to assist, is you lose the storm after that. But it was well worth it. So there was no worries that anybody got hit, and we didn't have to call the ambulances or anything. So that was great, but the whole year has been extremely successful. I've only got about 15 tornadoes, but each tornado has been really photogenic, and then it's had a lot, like different lives. So it'll start off as a giant wedge, and then you get the rope phase. So all the storms that I've been catching, I've only been dropping 1 or 2 tornadoes. You're not getting that Dodge City that just drops a string of 12 tornadoes yet. But so many beautiful tornadoes, and for the most part, the tornadoes have been over really beautiful landscapes this year. It's not the cliche, power lines and farmers fields. You're seeing like little ridges and some really pretty contour in the background. So that has been really, really exciting. Of course, you guys saw my sprites. Man, what a great year! I finally cracked the code. I cracked the code. No, I didn't. Not yet. Not until I have my coffee on the sprites. And man, they're beautiful. I found out that if they're there's a distance when they're about 70 miles away where the lightning from the storm is really dim. That's when you can see them the best, because the lightning is dim. And I remember I was shooting. You don't know exactly where to shoot when you set up. And I thought maybe this is where the sprites will be, because you can see the lightning here. And then I saw out of the corner of my eye this gigantic sprite shoot up. And so I turned my cameras that way and caught multiple vibrant sprites. And I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted, but I might have captured something that's never before been documented. One of the sprites, actually 2 of them, I posted one, I posted the most vibrant one. It goes up, and the peaks of the sprites, there's a green glow, a plasma glow that lasts for about 0.75 seconds afterwards. I've been trying to ferret out some theories on some of the guys that know more about the mesosphere and the ionosphere than I do, which is very little. I know very little. And had a lot of great theories, one of them being that perhaps it's kind of generating air glow or triggering air glow, or maybe some small auroras. I think the auroras are at a much higher elevation. One of the theories is it could be some kind of camera artifact. I don't know yet, so that's a possibility. I don't think that's the case, but I need to leave that open, because I'd hate to boast, oh, look what I found. It turns out just to be some kind of weird sensor artifact. I don't think it's that, because of the way it behaves. And then also I have several other sprites, the same diet, equally as vibrant, that don't create this afterglow. So that's really exciting, and that's the video that I kind of want to get out to you guys first. I just try to cover my bases and learn what I can about that. What else? Chasing with the team is really interesting. It's really fun to see how other people forecast. I've never ever done that before. As a team, you move really slow, though. As a solo man, I'm that one fighter pilot that just. But as a team, you're kind of an aircraft carrier. It slows things down, so you have to anticipate that as well. But I've had such a great year that I've let go of all my want and attachment to tornadoes, and to my surprise, they've actually. The day that we got the really good tornadoes, they chose a target area that I would not have chosen. I would have chosen the Lawrence, Kansas area, but they wanted to avoid the chase crowds, and had several reasons. And so I feel like the tornadoes that I got, that Skip and Anton forecasted on that day, were kind of bonus tornadoes that I would not have gotten. Another thing that we got to talk about is I almost got killed. I was a little too close to that tornado, and I've need to reevaluate my desire to capture these things, because I try to be safe, but I was really surprised at my behavior in the path of that tornado. And you work so hard day after day, and you haven't seen anything, or even all day, and you're driving and there's nothing happening, and finally the tornado's on the ground. You see this really short window to get to the footage, and I made a really risky move. But I've identified the problem now. I think once the tornado's on the ground, like when I'm at home, I say I'm going to be careful. When the tornado's on the ground, there's more of an attachment. And I think I'm getting a little too confident in my abilities, and I'm timing it to the last second. Everything went just as I planned, but I got as close as I could. I got my 5 seconds of good photos. But if anything goes wrong, that's when I'm dead. And if I keep doing this, you know, it's just a matter of time before something does go wrong. Ironically, the next day I woke up and my car didn't start. So I think I need to, now that I'm aware of how my brain is thinking the problem, I need to back off. And actually, if I had backed off, I wouldn't have to run from the tornado and I could film it longer. So one of the things I'm going to try to do on these big tornadoes, especially the rain-wrapped wedges, is I'm going to leave them be. I'm going to give them a little bit more space. I say that now. We'll see if it happens. Okay, let's get to some of these questions, guys. Thanks for letting me ramble on all of that. Thanks, Leonard. El Reno Blues. We opened up with El Reno's Blues. It's 1 p.m. in Argentina. Lucas has made the scene again. Chuck's here, Lucas here, DJ Dayglow's here, Stefan is here. He's not a homo. He just said he loves me, but he's not a homo. Did you guys see the speaking of homos, did you guys see the picture of the dudes proposing in front of the tornado? I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, Ghost Fanatic 89 says, awesome beans, Hank. Quick question, mate. How do you like your Nikon D7000 and how did you mount it in the TIT? The Nikon D7000 has, passed it on to my cousin Spencer, and I've now moved completely to Sony. I love Nikon, but Sony developed low light sensitivity way ahead of its time. And in order to get the sprites back in 2016, I made that decision. In 2015, I saw more tornadoes than I ever had. 90% of them were at nighttime, or 80% of them were at nighttime. So I bought a light-sensitive camera, the Sony, and then I haven't seen a nighttime tornado since then. So, but then again, for the sprites that I've been trying to capture since 2016, finally had a good year of capturing sprites. But the Nikons are great. I think Nikon is starting to catch up with Sony with the low light sensitivity. They might even, I think I kind of like the Nikon's look a little better, but you can tweak that difference in taste in Lightroom. So, and then I mount it by, basically my mounting situation is I just have a plank, a piece of wood that goes from my console to my dashboard, and then I built a little rig with a tripod head on it that spins, so that way when I'm running from the tornado, I can pan it out the back, I can pan it out the side. So the Nikons are great. The D7000, the D7100 is a great camera. I just need something a little different for what I'm doing. Yeah, glad I'm okay too. So is my wife. I got in big trouble with her when I got on. DJ Dayglow says, the storm that hit here a few days ago dropped too, both small EF0, EF1. Yeah, a lot of our patrons, fellow patrons, are all having experience. In the community section, a lot of guys were posting tornadoes they saw. So everybody got a little bit of dose of tornadoes this year. Except Lucas in Argentina. Yeah, my Ghost Fanatic says he'll try to get some sprites tonight. Yeah, you can see them far away, man. You know, 100 miles, 150 miles away, you can still see them. The other night I got some more that were about 180 miles away, but to me it's almost like I don't like the footage. I like to see some existence of the thunderstorm instead of just the jellyfish distance popping up over the distance. I kind of like anywhere from 30 to 100 miles. That's the range that I like. Once they get on 100, I really kind of stop shooting them. Lawrence, Kansas is checking in. Wow, Pollyanna. So big news in the storm chasing community. Silver Lining Tours, man. 2 of their vans got blown and rolled into the field chasing the rain-wrapped tornado near Lawrence, Kansas. And that's another wake-up call, man, because Roger Hill has been doing this. I think he's the one that pioneered tornado chasing tours. This is where the camera is, right? Yeah. I don't want to be looking over here. I always hate when people are looking at themselves when they're doing vlogs. It bugs me. Should be looking at the camera. I'm looking at you guys, not me, to see how that pimple's doing on my eyeball. But so yeah, the storm chasing tour got rolled, and I think of Roger Hill as a good forecaster, and he's one of the safer ones. You know, my friends at Extreme Tornado Tours, they tend to get really, really close and That's why they're called extreme tornadoes. And really great forecasters, all of them. And it just goes to show you, man, Roger's out there, you know, 40 days out of the year, every single day chasing. It's just a matter of time, guys. You know, it's like motorcycles. You know, if the riders out there, if you guys are bikers, you know, there's a saying, you know, there's two kinds of bikers, those that have gone down and those that are gonna go down. And I think that's the case for tornado chasers, man. It's just a matter of time before you get hit. You know, even the most safe guys that keep distance have had surprises and have caught themselves. There might be some guys that are really, really safe. You know, maybe Chuck Doswell that's never had a problem. But I think I'm fortunate that I've survived all my ignorant stages and my stupid, cocky stages. So at this time, I want to stay alive to keep bringing you guys footage over the duration. So I'm going to back off. I say that now. We'll see if I stick to it. SPC Pennsylvania is under a slight risk today. Yeah, I almost got activated to go back out on the storm chasing field operations. We agreed to sit tight another day. I might have to get up and go right after this, but there's just kind of a bunch of slight risk stuff. Looks like 2% tornado stuff, maybe a 5% stuff for mesoscale accidents that might happen. We'll see, but I'm on call to go back out there, and we still got another month left in the year. We've got ridging for the most part. So that's going to kind of extinguish the obvious threat for forecastable tornadoes, but you still get those tornadoes pop up. We always have those surprise 2% tornadoes. Laramie last year, you know, Campo in 2015. You know, these beautiful tornadoes that just kind of sneak up on the upslope along Colorado or New Mexico, and you can't really see them coming in the great distance. I can't. The trick is just to be out there every day and catch the weak storms, and then you catch that mesoscale accident that develops, and you're by yourself filming Laramie. Lawrence, Kansas checking in. Am I caught up? Let's see. Could sprites have some connection with the northern lights? I think they're at different elevations. There might be some same physics where the you know, of ionization. I think it's an ionization plasma process. But I think the sprites stop here and auroras begin up here. I'm still learning all this so that I can bring all that to you. That's a great question, though. Yeah, the moderate risks are a better bet for getting tornadoes. Eric Wibben says, only asking because our spotter network is our county's EMA, and we can get the sirens all set off at any time. I must have missed your first question. Okay, Eric says, so I convinced my entire fire department to get their National Weather Service spotter training. However, what are some good plain language, more advanced spotting resources? I don't know. Once you get into spotting, you need to learn the lingual so that you can report it accurately to the National Weather Service. I don't know of any plain language. There's not a whole lot to learn. Mesocyclone, rotation, wall cloud, shelf cloud, virga, things like that. You should know those anyway. A lot of guys like to show off their vocabulary. It's not necessary to reach the general public. So if you've got some guy that's just throwing out some verbose dialogue, just, you know, he's just trying to sound smart. All right, guys. Dayglow says, oh, they're chatting with each other. Heck, you guys just chat with each other. I'm going to go back to playing the guitar. All right. Samantha, what's going on? In a past chat, you mentioned that you don't think people should eat meat they haven't killed or hunted themselves. Do you live by this? I don't know if I worded it like I don't think people should eat meat. I think that's not how I would have worded it if I did. I think I said I kind of respect people, and if I had the option, I would like to kill and eat the meat. I think that's a better way to respect the animal. I think, you know, like when I'm eating venison that my friends have hunted, I feel like I'm eating a wild animal, and you know, growing up with all my Native American superstition, you know, the soul of the wild is entering my body versus the cattle that I see in Dodge City that are just sitting on their own manure and black. Just, you know, this really depressing scene. So I think if you're a hunter, I think you're honoring the food that you're eating. If you're a fisherman, if you're catching it yourself, we've become so detached from the meat that we're eating because somebody else prepares it, you know. But as hard as it would be, even for me, as such an animal lover, you know, I think that that's weakening us that we're not hunting. Or you could be even more, you know, Skip and Jennifer are vegans. And when they travel, they've somehow managed to be vegans on the road. And that's really respectable. You know, I think, you know, it's just when I hear vegans, I think of compassion and discipline, two really good traits to have. So I'm probably always going to be a carnivore. But we're trying to eat less, you know, for healthy reasons and for, you know, whatever reasons, you know, to not just eat steaks all day like we do down here in Texas. You know, we don't even eat rice and beans down here or potatoes. We just go straight for the steak. So these are things I think we can all improve as the planet becomes more and more overcrowded. We've got to rethink things. You know, Grandpa drove a dually, Dad drove a dually. I'm going to drive a dually too, you know. Well, you know, Granddad wasn't living in this time, and he's smarter than you are, and he would have told you to, you know, get with it. As we get overcrowded, guys, we got to start rethinking our traditions. As awesome as our traditions are, if we continue the way we're going, which we probably will, it's going to end faster than sooner, which is probably going to anyway, so let's just enjoy the ride, but do what we can. That was that answer. That was a long one. Thanks, Samantha. Appreciate you commenting. I see all your stuff. I see all your, man, I was peeking on everybody's comments. I missed a lot of stuff commenting on it, but I read it all. Wow, what a crazy season. I can't wait to bring you guys the footage. I don't know where to start. I've got so much beautiful stuff, rainbows, lightning and rainbows, sprites, yeah, can't wait. I got to share one thing with just you guys. So it was Skip and Anton's day to forecast, and rather than being all these cooks in the kitchen, I just let them duke it out, and I went over to and started playing with the harvester ants, and I brought them a gold M&M, and I crunched it up and I sprinkled it around. They were all running all their different ways. They started grabbing the little pieces of gold, and you're seeing these little gold streaks, you know, marching down into the holes. And I imagined the harvester ant going to the queen and saying, "Behold, golden chocolate." I don't think it works that way. I think that they actually bring it into a little farm and cultivate some kind of new fungus that they feed her. But I still like to imagine that dude, you know, the workers are so impulsed to work, you know, and perhaps it's because they're trying to catch favor of the queen. Hey, and when they're able to bring her golden chocolate, and then it got down to the peanut, and they were having trouble grabbing the peanut, and they brought it into the hole, and it totally clogged the hole. And then there was no ants. The whole ant bed looked extinct. Anyway, so I'm cracking up. Anton and Skip are looking at me like there's, you know, I'm not all there. Probably not. But anyway, I'm gonna have to recreate that. I caught a couple clips of it, but I'm gonna reshoot that for you guys. Okay. Yeah, on steroids too, right, Andrew? I got a hamburger in Canadian Texas, and it said hormone-free, steroid-free burger, and it was $20, man, and it tasted just like a burger. So $20 burger, but you guys paid for it, so thank you. Jory says, what do you think the largest contributor to the far more active outbreak-prone 2009 season? Well, the contributor is the shortwave trough stalled right over the plains. Generally you have trough, ridge, and that is those push, you know, westerly from the over the mountains across, and you just get one after another. So it's always nice. You get a trough comes down, chase, you get a ridge, you get a few days off. This day you had a blocking pattern where the trough just stopped right over that, co-located over Tornado Alley. Sometimes the trough can stop, you know, over the east, then you get all the flooding over here. Last year we had blocking pattern, we had a ridge over the alley, and so there's so many factors that can come in with tornadoes, and timing is a huge part of it. Anton has a friend, and he mentioned him in an article. I think it was a Vox article. I'll have to post the link perhaps, but he forecasted this event like 3 weeks in advance, which is why Anton Simon and his wife Tracy decided to pick this time to go out storm chasing. He said, "Man, the trough is going to pause." So it started with some kind of oscillation in the Indian Ocean that he's been following, and so the fact that he called this, I don't know if he was lucky or if he really saw it coming. Just goes to show you how far we're coming, I think, as a atmospheric scientist and our forecasting abilities. So if you don't know anything about forecasting, you think weathermen are crazy still, but if you actually understand probabilities, and it's amazing. If you actually have to forecast tornadoes yourself using everybody's tools, it's amazing. It just blows my mind how accurate, more and more accurate the models are becoming. This year, the HRRR hasn't been resolving the clues as good as I thought it has in the past. I feel like this year the HRRR has had a little bit more trouble, and generally the HRRR has more trouble on days without a lot of capping, I think I've noticed. And I'm just kind of thinking from observations. I don't know if this is actual accurate data, but when there's no cap, the HRRR has trouble resolving where the storms are going to fire up. But when there tends to be more of a cap, the HRRR's been pretty good at resolving where storms. So the HRRR's been pretty useless for me this year. Greg, dude, what's up? Tarantula Guru, Greg Rice is in the house. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you have to do it. We need more YouTube channels like Greg's and Jungle Jay's and stuff like that. These guys are doing awesome stuff. Thanks, Greg. I love your passion too, man. I'm glad you got to see that. I'm glad I got to bring you guys that little girl tarantula in that video, that last one. Samantha says, dude, my grandparents immigrated from Mexico straight to Kansas. Not sure why. The food's there great. Food in Mexico is great, right? Yeah. I don't know. There's so much opportunity in America. America is such a wonderful country. We're so blessed to be, to be in this country. We've got our problems too, and those that love the country, we speak out. We're trying to make it the best we can and reform it and do whatever we can. So yeah, a lot of opportunity here. If I was Mexican, I might do the same thing. Might come here, especially if I had family. Down here in Texas, we grow up with immigrant Mexicans, and man, the ones that I know aren't bad banditos. They're the most amazing, generous people. I have one right here, the groundskeeper here, and they generally are these people that come over here, work their asses off, and send all their money back to their families. Their big, giant Catholic families. And the guys that I know, man, are just awesome. So, but I understand the political issues of there. I understand that it's a president's job to his sworn an oath to do what's best for his country. So it's catch-22. I know if I was Mexican and I wanted to come here, nothing would get between me. So that's a whole other story. I like the idea of keeping our channel, for the most part, politically free, so that we can all hang out with people that we hate and not even know it and love on them. There's enough. If there was a shortage of opinions flying around, I would probably speak out more. But there's plenty of opinions out there that's been covered, and more so. I think we need a place, a sanctuary from it all, right? I think we all kind of agree with that. Here we are. Have you been to Pennsylvania? Yeah, I've been to Pennsylvania. I stayed in Allentown when we were touring through New York. I played a show in Allentown, I think it was called. And beautiful country. The hills there were beautiful. I was surprised how beautiful the Northeast was. But heck yeah, man. A lot of great snakes and reptiles and amphibians in Pennsylvania as well. Caught some ringneck snakes out there, if I remember correctly, at the rest area while my friends were doing their thing. Yeah, Greg, of course. Thank you for your help. Happy to give it back. Andrew says, I've had many layovers in Laredo, Texas. Can agree, true Mexican food is good. Oh, yeah, man. Once I get out of Texas, Mexican food is just... We have something different here, though. We have Tex-Mex. That isn't even that authentic Mexican food. But we can get authentic Mexican food if we want to in Houston. Even when I go to Dallas, It's like, it's not the same in Dallas. Austin's got pretty good Mexican food, and Laredo is probably pretty good as well, obviously. But for the most part, we love our Mexicans down here. Katrina says, why did you think about broadcast meteorologist in Ohio who kind of lost his cool because he was criticized for interrupting The Bachelor? I don't care about that stuff, Katrina. For the most part, obviously you need to interrupt the stupid TV show The Bachelor to bring people, safety news. If that's controversy, I don't know why. Guys, I kind of rely on you to bring me the current events. I am completely off social media during storm seasons, other than this place, Patreon. So I'm the last to hear about things. I'm the last to hear about the towns that got hit, the people that were injured. So actually, you guys, by posting news in the community section, has been really helpful. So thank you for doing that. I will say this one thing about politics is I'm developing a more and more brained mindset that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm really comfortable admitting that I'm wrong. And because I usually am when it comes to politics. I mean, we couldn't possibly know the details. You can say, well, he did this, well, he did this, and you can do the hit me. They hit me, but you hit me first, and then that person goes, well, you hit me, and it's just that. But you've got to boil it down to the fundamental philosophy. And that's a hard conversation with people. I end up pissing them off because I pry too deep. But one thing that I will say about politics that I see is that everybody that I talk to on completely opposite sides of the spectrum have been good people that believe they're doing right. And that's what gets us so passionate about it. They really believe they're doing the right thing. And when they see somebody doing the wrong thing, it makes you think they're bad people. That's one of the ways to demonize another country so that we can go to war to them. But for the most part, I'm changing my ways that people are more so that they're really better than I thought they were. They're not completely these just selfish. Now, of course, if the zombie apocalypse happens and we're each on our own, and raping and pillaging becomes the way of things, maybe that's embedded in a lot of us. I don't know, but I think for the most part, maybe I'm the people are these people that are arguing are good people. So remember that if you're disagreeing with somebody, they believe they're doing good. Of course, they're wrong. Okay, I live 20 minutes from Allentown. A lot of crime there, apparently. Oh, I missed out on the crime. Samantha says, what's your favorite David Bowie song? Oof. Will you play some of it? No, I can't play David Bowie songs. The reason why, I can play Elvis songs all day long. David Bowie songs are hard. He's such an amazing singer. He does falsetto. I can't do falsetto well. I can try it, but I would, if I had a beer, I might do it and embarrass myself and regret it. But there's a lot of tricky stuff and a lot of really quirky, clever changes in David Bowie songs. So I don't attempt them. The one that we do is probably Suffragette City because it's the easiest song. Hey man, leave me alone, and I can bring a punk rock version to that. David Bowie is a brilliant artist. If you think Allentown is bad, I live in Baltimore. Lucas says, maybe it was let behind by storm season and cool sprites, but any news of cluster upward lightning? No, haven't heard anything about that. I don't know if they're just moving on, that it's just multiple upward leaders and saying that's that. I still have been speaking to the scientist Tom Warner and saying that I want to do a video because he's got a really good understanding of them, and I bet he's even learned some new things. And now that I have this, what are we going to call it? Pixie dust, the green gas. We need to come up with a name for it, guys. The green, just in case we did discover something, we should probably come up with a name for it. Maybe I don't know if that's how it works, but maybe we could just for fun put it out there and see if it catches on. But it's regarding the upward clusters, I'm still talking to Tom Warner here every now and then. But I've got so many irons in the fire. You know, I still haven't even finished my Dr. Lee Orff thing, so I've tackled more than I've got so much stuff I need to catch up, guys. I'll do my best. Everything, man, after storm season, everything just gets turned over. I don't know. I mean, what was it, 2017? It wasn't until 2018 that I found my continuous lightning footage that I uploaded. Like I just missed it. Sometimes I'm shooting so much footage and focusing on harvesting footage that sometimes it takes me months to even find stuff. For the EF3s, I really want to bring you guys some sneak peeks of all the stuff that I'm finding. Haven't been able to deliver that as much as I'd like to. So thanks for your patience on that. Stefan says, Hank, do you have a P.O. box? No, I usually just have it go to my mom's house because UPS, one of the two can't get into my complex. It's UPS or one of them doesn't have a key because we have a gate and they throw shit over us. They throw stuff over the fence. Sorry about that. Sunday morning already cussing. The great green jewel of the supercell. What does anybody else think about that? Midwestern Lights. Hank, my boyfriend wants to hear you say ditch. I don't know why. Ditch. Lucas, I will not let it die, so I'm going to ask about cluster lightning every time. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's just my turnaround isn't as quick on the draw as it has been in the past when I didn't have any footage. Yeah, I couldn't insert the ES tone. They sneak out every now and then. They do it on the radio too sometimes. It's a bad habit that we all have sometimes, I suppose. SPC Pennsylvania said... Christian, here's one I missed. Christian Scott said, saw a lot of amazing lightning last week in Childress, Texas on my first storm chase last week. That's a pretty darn good place to see lightning in Childress. Can't go wrong there. Eric says, when is your next song going to be released? Man, I wrote a couple songs on this last outing, so I don't know. Yeah, I be honest with you, I've been making records my whole life. I want to get this video out for you guys. Maybe once after all this video is uploaded, I'll take a month to make a new record. We'll see. I'm just loving this storm footage right now. I can't get enough of bringing you guys that stuff. La Malédiction is my new favorite song. Thanks, man. I'm proud of that one. Wrote a song in French. Lucas says, your thoughts about your new ride. You even got a near-death experience with it. Yeah, great question. I would have liked to have the TIT when I'm running from the tornadoes. So what happens is when you're running from a tornado, you get hit by the rear inflow jet, which is a scary thing. Here's your tornado. The rear inflow jet is on the ground right here coming into it. The rear inflow jet is often considered part of the tornado as far as damage. Like the National Weather Service, a lot of the damage that you're seeing is caused by the rear inflow jet. In my Wynnewood tornado video, I think people are saying Wynnewood, I've been saying Wynwood. You can see where you see the roof lift off. That's pretty much caught in the rear inflow jet on that little turning section of the tornado where the rear inflow jet comes around the corner and you get that whoop. So that it's not even taking a direct hit by the visual condensation funnel. It's that river of air. So when you're running from a tornado, you can get caught in that rear inflow jet or the RFD, and that's generally what happens. That's what you're in, and that slows you down. That's one of the things you forget is you can't go as fast as you think you can. So I would have liked to have the TIT in that. It cuts through that faster. But really starting to like the Windbreaker, the RAV4, guys. We named it the Windbreaker because it's more Jeepy in that you can just plow over. It's got a higher clearance, so I'm plowing over. I'm sorry, thought somebody else. It's plowing over sticks and rocks and stuff like that. One time in West Texas, I was in a rental car and I bottomed out and knocked a hole in the oil pan. Actually, I didn't. My friend did after I told him to slow down. And we were stranded for 3 days on a dirt road in West Texas. So I worry about that less. Yeah, So I'm really, one thing I'm realizing is I had a 4Runner, had it for 13 years, and when I traded it in, had 250,000 miles on it, uh, beat it to hell. It was running like a tank still, but I traded in for the TIT, and I had no attachment to it. And the TIT I got attachment to, I think it's when you have a, when a vehicle is with you, when you have a near-death experience, you grow attachment to it. So I always thought it was weird that people got attached to their cars. They're just tools to me. But yeah, you can get attached to a vehicle. You know, if you have a, if you're 16 or 17 and you have some really great first-time experiences in your car, you know, maybe, you know, some fond memories, you know, other than just traffic commuting, I can see where a big hunk of metal would grow on you. Thanks, Melissa, for correcting me. It's Winniewood, like Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear. I had a Camry, then RAV4 went back to cars because it felt unstable in bad weather. Yeah, right. The cars, you know, most, like I said, 95% of storm chasing is driving fast on paved roads. And so when you're in that ghost train, and when you're in that uh, RFD, and you're in a low profile, wide base car, you just, that's what was great about the TIT. Have you gotten stuck in clay roads yet? No. Have I even gotten a single hail dent yet this year? No. It'd be awesome if I kind of like the idea of getting through the whole season without a hail dent. One of my favorite stories about Robert Johnson is that he would hobo on the trains, and they would be on these sweaty trains for you know, days or hours and hours and hours. And they said when Robert Johnson stepped off that train, he looks like he was stepping into church. He had that nice suit, everything. It just, he looked so presentable. I like the idea of getting away with all these tornadoes and not having a single hail dent on my car. That'll shut up all the people that talk about the hail guards and stuff, which I like. Melissa Allen, message retracted. We did our first planes chase in May and saw Skip, Brindley, Olbinski, and Shaw, but missed you somehow. Right on, man. You saw all my favorite people. Samantha, you've put in the miles, my dude. In my opinion, which state has the best, worst roads? Arkansas I don't like to chase in Arkansas. I need to, but the hills, the 2-lane roads, the traffic. So, you know, once it's raining, you get somebody driving, you know, 50 and you can't pass them because the roads are windy. So I don't like chasing in Arkansas. I will say this though, I'm really starting to like chasing in Dixie Alley. I'm learning some things and some tricks. And because there's no chasers out there, that I just like being alone out there. So, but Arkansas, I haven't gotten there yet. Right. I knocked on wood, Joe, so I didn't jinx it. I unjinxed it by knocking on wood. Jory says, are you going to go back out with the team again, or will you be back to solo chasing? I was going to go last night, but then Jennifer Brindley wasn't able to make the scene, so since we couldn't be a whole trio and it was a marginal risk day, since they could make it, I said, well, I'm going to sit out too. But I could, right after this, I might have to go out again. Daniel Shaw, guys, if you want to see live streaming, he's the best. Nobody can do it like Daniel Shaw. Highly recommend it. And if you want to see me live streaming, if you go to Daniel Shaw's live streaming, and he's got a Patreon here, you're likely going to see me because he and I are usually always in the same spot. I see Daniel Shaw more than I see anybody. He and I think alike, apparently. Speak of the devil, Daniel Shaw is in the house. I think, right? Severe Weather. Yeah. Say hi to Daniel Shaw, everybody. He's Severe Weather and News Australia. Daniel and I are becoming close dudes, man. We met each other back in 2013, and the first thing he ever said to me was F you. But he didn't say F you. He said the real thing. And right then I knew we were going to be friends. We were in Subway, and I said, hey, you're Daniel. He said, yeah. I said, I'm Hank. And he said, F you. I think I'd just gotten some good footage the day before. So, but if I'm not chasing, Daniel Shaw's out. He works too hard. I call him every day and tell him to take a break. He won't do it. He chases every freaking day. He's probably chasing today. So be sure and check out Daniel Shaw, guys. Or Severe Storms Australia. He's from Australia. He comes here every year and spends 3 months chasing every day. I'm going to Australia this year thanks to my patrons. And we're going to shoot some of the tallest thunderstorms in the world. We're going to shoot Hector the Convector. There's an island off of Northern Territory, and every single day there's a thunderstorm there, at least that time of year. And in World War II, they used Hector as a beacon, as a what do you call it? A thing to navigate around. So I want to shoot Hector the Convector. Good day, Daniel. Ah, yeah. Daniel also installed the radio in my car that we're using. Let's ask Daniel a question. Daniel, are you chasing today? Where are you chasing today, Daniel? Upslope, Colorado, I'm guessing. New Mexico, Raton area. Michael Binsky also has a Patreon now. Man, you guys saved our butts with this Patreon thing, man. It's unreal. Only problem is I'm going to be working so much collecting the footage that I'm going to have less time to edit it, which I am okay with. The great thing about having a great year like this year is it makes editing so much easier. Last year, I had to really put a lot of effort into the edits, which might actually be kind of neat as well. But in 2016, just the footage speaks for itself. I don't need to talk. I don't need to flap my gums. I don't need to play music. You just boom, here's the footage. Roll with that. So that frees me up a lot to go out and harvest more footage. Daniel's in New Mexico today, and probably up northern New Mexico, I'm thinking. So if you guys want to follow Daniel, check out his Patreon. Lucas, I'm going to do that as soon as I get fired from my job. Yeah, getting fired's a good time. I secretly hope my wife gets fired so that we can go do some kind of crazy volcano thing or something like that. But man, I've got a lot on the plate already. After storm season, we go to Isla Mujeres in Mexico to hopefully swim with whale sharks and manta rays. That is a huge on the bucket list, and that needs to get checked off. After that, I have to go to a wedding in Thailand, and we're taking the moms to Japan. So the in-laws are going to meet with my mom. The moms, both our parents died when we were young, and so we're going to meet. The moms don't like to sit on planes for 24 hours, as you can imagine, when you're close to 70. And so we're taking the moms to Kyoto in Japan. It's so cheap, guys. I can't believe how cheap the tickets are when you buy them a year in advance. And then after that, I go to Australia to shoot thunderstorms for you guys. And then after that, I go to Costa Rica. So as promised, I'm going to try to bring you guys all this crazy footage that you guys are sending me out on. Lucas did a volcano a month ago, managed a photo, an Andean condor too. Wow, there's not many of those left. I hope you posted it in the community section. I don't remember. Jungle J, finding the time this year to edit has been kind of challenging. That's a good problem, I think, to have. Last year I had plenty of time to edit. I felt bad about it because it was the year we launched Patreon, and I only got 6 tornadoes. So the pressure was on me to bring you guys some footage, and so I'm glad this year. Really glad that I'm able to bring you guys some beautiful footage. It's the best year, third best year that I've had. 2016 being the best, 2014 being the second best. I'm hoping to pass up 2014 this month. 2014, all the footage happened in 3 days in June. So that was the Twins, followed by Coleridge, followed by Alpena. How are we on time? We still cranking out? We got time. You guys got time? I got time. I'm gonna go have my traditional Vietnamese sandwich, my banh mi with a fried egg and coffee. That's what I like to do that's one of my routines on Sunday morning. Jungle J, what's going on, man? What have you gotten recently? I saw that you were out on the boat, shooting stuff. Jungle Jay's another YouTuber that's got a great adventure channel, so highly recommend him. Samantha and her beau came out and saw me in Conroe playing live, so that was nice to see one of my friends and online friends come out and say hi to us. So love it if you guys could come out and see me play. But man, I'm actually going to take, because I've got so much footage, I'm going to take another couple months off of playing music to get you guys the footage. Thanks for that. I did my time in the bars and the mud and the blood and the beer, man. I'm on parole for time served. Samantha says, maybe you can keep and post a list of links to the previous live chats for future patrons. I left them up there. I kind of, if I felt like it came across well and I didn't say some stupid political BS that I regret, I leave them up, and if not, I delete them. Angela, you are making it possible for me to live the ultimate dream. Thank you. I worked really hard. I made every sacrifice to get here, and then when the YouTube thing crumbled down, you guys brought it to the next level, and I will never stop saying thank you and the gratitude for that. I don't know how long I live with the idea that everything goes away. If you remember MySpace, how it disappeared overnight, MTV disappeared overnight, Patreon, YouTube could disappear overnight. So every day I'm grateful that I'm able to bring you guys this footage. Oh, here's a new, so ABC flew in 2 days ago and filmed me for their TV show, just doing a section, doing an appearance, talking about tornadoes and the same old thing that you do, the same format that they do every time. Here I am putting up the footage, here I am. But something really awesome happened. It was really, really hot outside, and I'd forgotten that it's summer here in Texas already. It's freaking, you know, full-on summer here in Texas. You know, 75, 78, you know, humidity or dew points. And it was really hot, and I was standing in the sun for a couple hours, and I thought, you know, these people are from California, they're going to get hot. And so I wanted to offer them my water, but I didn't want them to see me like sucking on the the rim, so that we could share it, just in case that was weird. And so I tried to pour it in my mouth, and I poured the water all over me. And I didn't have another shirt, and we had to do the TV shoot anyway, so it looks like I'm just this sweaty dude, man, just covered in sweat. I hope it airs like that. So it's an ABC TV show. It'll probably be up in a few months. See you later, Daniel. Good luck. I'll be watching, unless I have to go out and join you for tomorrow. You're not going to see anything. And actually, today looks pretty good. Looks okay. Auf Wiedersehen, Daniel. Wiedersehen. All right, I guess we're going to move this into Deutsch sprechen. Sprechen Deutsch ein bisschen? Okay. What do you hear about Lee Orff? I know you guys were collaborating, catching SVC currents, evidence, things like that. I started a Lee Orff video in the sequel in February, and I'm still working on it. Then storm season happened, and it's been so busy it messed all that up. So I really hope to get that out soon. I got a lot of new footage that I think will that looks like some of Lee Orff's footage that he has. So I'm excited to bring you guys that. Lee Orff, however, has several new videos on his website, on his YouTube site, so check out his lectures. I didn't catch wind of it until a month later. I was late, and man, just yeah, Lee Orff is influencing me a lot. You know, especially in helping me to. He's really helping me see through my own confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance. So he's really a inspiring guy. Über dein Deutsch. Guys, we've been at it for almost an hour. I'm still having fun. If some of you guys have been here and you want to take off, I understand, but I'm just going to keep shooting it with you guys. If you're here, I might as well hang out with you. Samantha just got busted at church. Oh man, I wish I could pop into your phones and I could see where you guys are. You know, Lucas in Argentina and Samantha in church. It would be so awesome if there was some way to do that where we could all be in this gigantic group hang. Jay, man, did I miss? I asked you, what's up, man? What's up with you? I asked, and then I might have missed it, but give us an update, Jay. Oh, here it is. Jay did 4 days in Waiaka State Forest, kayak to a place called the Deep Hole that attracts hundreds of large alligators. There you go. Noah, here's something from Noah. Hank, what sort of safety precautions do you take when checking damaged structures for trapped people? Okay, here's something that we can talk about. One of the stupid mistakes that I made. For years, I've been seeing power lines on the ground, and I just jump over them. You know, I just carefully jump over and make sure I don't fall on them. And then I've been hearing that when a live power line is on the ground, it can zap your butt from 10, 15 feet away. If it's on the wet ground, it can still zap your butt. So again, one of those stupid things that I survived. But for the most part, that's the big thing to look out for is down power lines. There's other things, you know, glass and rebar, all sorts of splintery stuff that you can, you know, obviously hurt. But that's the big thing to look out for, guys, is power lines. Even driving over them something could happen. Your car could grab it, wheels could grab it, and, you know, a kink and pull it up into your car. So other than that, you kind of get stupid. You go on automatic pilot and you rush in full blast thinking, you know, somebody's hurt and needs your attention. And so just run in there and check, bang on the doors. And every time I'm really fortunate that most of the times that I do that, nobody's home. You know, they're somewhere else. So hopefully that trend continues. Gotta watch Chernobyl. Okay. I just finished Game of Thrones. Loved it. Loved the ending. A lot of people didn't like the ending. I loved it. One thing I loved about Games of Thrones is I could not predict anything. Love that when you can't predict something. Rebecca says, I'm sitting at a train track on the way to work. Happy to be here. Train track where? In Europe? We don't have trains in America. Thanks for that beautiful glimpse of your settings. Yeah, everybody, let me know your settings. I love that. I love knowing where you are, and just a quick little poetic setting is extremely encouraged from everybody. Okay, Chernobyl. Chernobyl's so good. That's 2 people that are on that. Power lines can attract metals like a magnet. Right, there might be an electromagnetic thing going on. I didn't even think about that. Interesting. Never thought about that, Lucas. Do you keep a first aid kit in your car? Yes, I keep a first aid kit in my car. Daniel Shaw has learned first aid, and he's always on me, Hank, when you're going to get first aid certified. I'm like one of those guys who says, I'll just watch YouTube and get it, but he's always busting my thingies, my bungalows that I need to get certified. That's probably a good idea. Angela says, I'm not sleeping today, awake 24 hours and counting. Okay, Angela, careful behind the wheel. I used to brag about not being able to, about my abilities to stay awake. And then I think I told you guys this last time. Then one day I was driving, I just picked up a map and just started reading it while I was driving. My brain just went into La La Land. Yeah, you don't want to become a casualty yourself, but you know what? Everybody, for the most part, you know, there's some chasers that don't stop for whatever reasons, but most of the people I know stop. And you charge in, man. You know, there's this thing you imagine. I always think the worst, like, oh man, there's some little girl. It's always a little girl for me. It's never a little boy. It's always a little girl trapped under some kind of debris. You know, and you know, we need to get her out of that as fast. And I never find her, thank goodness. I tell you, I think I told you guys this story once. So I'm deaf in my right ear. I hear noises and I can't place noises. And during El Reno 2011, it was just rubble. It was just houses, and I knew I was going to find something horrible. And I was walking over just a leveled house, you know, EF4 damage, EF3 powerful EF3 damage. And I hear this coming from underneath the rubble. And I say, I hear you, I'm okay, we're going to get you out. And I hear this, and I'm talking to this person who's trapped under the rubble. And then all of a sudden a cat walks by, it goes, meow. Which is a good thing. Yeah, thank God. Where are we? Corvallis, Oregon, Oregon State University. Go Beavs. I'm working on a garden in Portland, Oregon. Sitting in my office with hummingbirds, orioles, and butterflies flying over the feeder. See, you guys are my kind of people. Yeah. I'm next to an open window watching the neighbor mowing the yard. Yeah, always on Sundays. First aid certification is basically common sense. You're probably right, but I bet if I went back and checked it out, there'd be some things that I've forgotten. Wouldn't hurt for us all, I suppose, to go check out a first aid tutorial on YouTube. I think we got to get you something called a hot stick. It can detect the electromagnetic field given off by down powered lines. Or just, you can see the down powered lines generally. But yeah, maybe that's I'll have to look up a hot stick and see what that, is it like a, the little, what's the radiation detector, whatever that thing is called? Does it click, or is it actually a visual thing? It's probably an audio thing, I'm guessing. High Voltage Feathers says, Hank, I highly recommend a self-save kit. It's a specialty first aid kit that intended to help you stop different types of dangerous bleeding when you're alone. Yeah, that would all be good. Okay, here's a great question. SPC Pennsylvania says, have you thought about making a video explaining your symbols on your target area maps? Okay, no, because it's all just gibberish. It's like my own language, and what's going on is each day you have a target area. There's different things that you're looking at. You know, are there boundaries that day? Is there, you know, and so I'm kind of on the map. There's a lot of things that I know are there. Generally, okay, the 500 millibar flow is there, so I might not write that down. But where are the boundaries? Where's the cap? Where is the cape strongest? So if I know that there's just giant cape over the whole area, I might not write that down. So each day is completely different. Here's a great thing. I ran into Rich Thompson, who's one of my favorite tornado forecasters for the SPC. I might have talked to you guys about this. I think I mentioned it in one of my posts. But I ran into him, and one of my jokes when people say, hey, can you do a video about how to forecast tornadoes? I always say, you know what? There's a good video already out there that you can watch, and it's Rich Thompson's tutorial, and it's only 9 videos, and each video is an hour and a half long. So if you watch that, you'll have an understanding of how complicated it is. And I brought that up to Rich, and I pitched it to him, and this is something I've been wanting to do. I said, man, I'd love to do a video with you. Is there a way for us to simplify this? And I don't think there's a way, because it's in science, it's really hard to simplify something and it be accurate. That's what makes some of Einstein's formulas so beautiful, is they're simple. E equals mc squared says so much, and it's so simple. With that equation, you can just look at that equation and you can see how massive energy is, you know, when the speed of light squared. So it's but that's really hard to do. And I think a lot of physicists, that's what their dream is to come up with this, you know, really complex scenario and able to simplify that. And I don't know if I have the tools to simplify it and it be accurate. But if I've got Rich Thompson looking over my shoulder, maybe we can do it. CPR training. It's sweaty. It's only 70 degrees out here. Pray for me if I'm ever out in the plains. Angela's a nurse, 32 years. She can train. Angela, you need to make a YouTube video. Everybody needs to make a YouTube video. Especially you guys. Oh, the Geiger counter, right. Thank you. Thank you, Angela. I actually did my own forecast area and got the exact same location as you. I felt so happy. Right. Yeah, right on. I always try to do my forecast and then check the SPC over it. And more often, I'm starting to, we're having the same uh, risk outlooks. One of the interesting things about chasing with the group is because we're a caravan and we're a little slower, we have to avoid the chaser convergences. So in May, the last 2 weeks of May is really crazy when you have an obvious target area. So we were picking secondary areas, but we were actually liking the secondary areas we picked. So we can't go with the obvious target areas sometimes. And so I might miss some tornadoes, I might not. But like I said, we nailed our first day. We got a really small nebulous tornado that was brief, and then the next day we nailed it. So I think we're a great team, amazing guys. I may or may not have a video in the works. Yeah, guys, if especially guys like you, one thing that's great about this Patreon page is you guys seem to be a little sharper than the average social network. But I highly recommend doing anything helpful with YouTube, because even if you only get, 50 or 100 views, that's a lot of people. I think musicians can appreciate that. Sometimes I play shows to 15 people, and I bring in a whole PA system, and I'm playing, it's kind of background music gigs, but you can do a lot of work, and sometimes 3 or 4 gigs just to be seen by, whereas YouTube, boom, you just post it online. So those 100 people, it's a bigger number than you realize. And I think that the what's the word that they use, the not the interaction, I'm drawing blanks, but the interaction that you have with YouTube is much stronger than a Facebook post. So the impression, that's the word I'm looking for. A Facebook impression, if you have a video on Facebook and it gets a million, it's not, I don't think it's the same as YouTube, because Facebook, boom, that's a view. Boom, that's an impression. YouTube, you have to seek it out and kind of click on it. So the impressions on YouTube are pretty powerful, I think. Do it, Garrett. Joe Plain says, I also got home from a flying lesson. My instructor is impressed with my knowledge of meteorology. Do a video on that, flying. Is there any storm feature or type of shot that is still on your list for 2019? High Voltage Feathers says. You're not Austin Feathers, are you? High Voltage Feathers? Austin Feathers is a friend of mine who's a brilliant guy who hooked me up with the Tesla coil. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's you, Austin. Shot list, let's see. Austin Feathers also had a really great theory on my little green glow. Hey, it's you, Austin. Awesome, dude. You changed the name on me. Guys, High Voltage Feathers, another YouTube channel that you got to check out. Is that your link, Austin? Or it's High Voltage Feathers, right? Anyway, he's the guy that hooked me up with the Tesla coil, and then he couldn't make it once he hooked me up with it. But I see him out in the field, and he's developing a really great scientific channel. He's really, I think I'm going to go to him regarding his theory so far about the ionization of the green glow. I think I'm going to paste in my description of the Sprite green glow effect. Really great stuff. Him and also another guy that I'm working with, I'm collaborating with, Paul Smith, who's kind of the Sprite guru. So please, guys, everybody check out High Voltage's YouTube channel. He's really onto something great, and I think he's going to really make a giant stink in the future, which is a good thing. I should put everybody's YouTube link in the comments below. I think I'll do that. So email them to me, guys, or message them to me, and I'll post it in the link. Or you can just go check it out. Hank, what's the strange... Oh, I didn't even answer his question. Shot list. Lightning and rainbows. I've got some of that. I'd like to get better at that. More anvil crawler discharges. I don't have a lot of actual regular old lightning this year. I don't have a lot of CGs, close lightnings. I bought that global shutter camera to get close lightning strikes. I don't have any close lightning. Yeah, time lapses. I don't have any time lapses here. Generally, that all comes in June when things slow down. The storms have had a lot of speed shear, so they're moving fast. Even 35 miles per hour. As the crow flies at 45-degree angle, you've got to drive fast to keep up with it. If it's 35-mile-an-hour storm motions that are like this, well, then you can make a lot of ground. You don't have to grid up and down. But the 45-degree angle ones, which is generally what the speed shear storms do, are a lot harder to catch up with traffic and stoplights and towns and stuff like that. So, yeah, Lucas, check out High Voltage Feathers Tesla coils. He's the one that built it all, so he's got a lot more in-depth details about it than I do. SBC Pennsylvania says, how many radars do you have on your iPhone, or is it just RadarScope? It's just RadarScope. I have a couple spare ones. I have my radar, which is my backup one. It was a free one. I've never had to go to it. RadarScope gets it done. Garrett says, I'm thinking of a video of my adventures in Oregon. Been trying for 2 years, something about why it's weird. Yeah, there you go. Weird is always good. Something different, a different angle. Garrett, Samantha's talking to you. Don't pass up that opportunity. What do you say, guys? You want to wrap it up and everybody go get some banh mi with a fried egg, maybe some egg rolls, Vietnamese coffee? Let's see here while I'm here. Let's see if I got it activated from the storm field operations. If I accidentally hang up on you guys. You know what we'll do? We'll do a little sneak peek. I know what I'll do. I'll show you guys a little sneak peek of some of the video that I got. This is just between us. Hey, wow, speak of the devil, Tom Warner just responded about the air glows. Tom Warner's the scientist that I'm chatting with about the upward clusters. He just responded. Here's what he says. I'm reading this for the first time with you guys. Hey, Hank, let's keep this between us. I'm sure Tom wouldn't mind. Good to hear from you. Looks like you've been busy with an active storm season, challenging to say the least. I looked at the video and I can say that I have never seen a green glow associated with a sprite as in your video shows. Assuming it is not a camera sensor effect, which I suspect it is not, this is something definitely worth looking into. I'm forwarding your email to Walt Leons and Steve Kummer, who are authorities on TLEs, or transient luminous events. Hopefully they can provide some insult as I can come up with an excitation of oxygen, which is green. It generally, the ions, the ionization of oxygen is green, right? Right, Austin? In addition to nitrogen, which is red. Let's see what we find out. That's awesome. Wow, okay, great. So we might be onto something new here, guys. How cool is that? Okay, so I'm going to do something. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys a horrible clip of footage of some of the stuff that we've gotten this year. Okay, I'll go back up. So the, oh man, there's so much good footage, guys. Let's see here. Where to start? I could keep you guys here all day. Okay, you saw my McCook, Nebraska tornadoes. So here's a day where nothing happened. It was a cruddy day, and then I was going back to the hotel, and this happened. So we got the beautiful town and the Mamatis clouds. That was, so that even on days where nothing happens. So the next day was the Mangum, Oklahoma tornado, and that was the traffic. So that storm was the obvious storm from day one. Daniel was on it early, and when you have a high risk day and you have one target, everybody goes there, and yeah, it was almost pointless, the traffic. I was able to sneak past the traffic several times and was able to get a sneak peek of the tornado, but it's not very good, right? Let me see if I can show you guys that. Yeah, it's not great, but you can kind of see it right here. So I'm stuck in a long line of traffic right here. Yeah, that's the, so anyway, but the fact that I got a tornado on the high risk day was rewarding. It wasn't the most beautiful thing. Okay. Took a day off, and then the next day in Oklahoma, we got this tornado. Let's see. Let me find the best clip of it. This is the Henrietta, Oklahoma tornado. Challenging roads. There was hills. So there was that one. And I got a lot of time lapse of that. Okay. The next day was Canadian, Texas. That's where you saw me almost get hammered by the wedge. And the great thing about that was once I was inside the bear cage, you could see, I should say this because I don't want to encourage anybody to go in the bear cage, but the RFD cut, or the clear slot, had really cleared things out. It was really amazing. You could see the column and you could see the clear slot went so high, which kind of has a tendency to consolidate the dangerous area more. And then I got that little rope and was able to speed up and catch that rope as it zoomed across the road. This is kind of pretty. Let's see here. This is a double rainbow with some anvil crawlers. Let's see. Patient there. Let's see here. See, not the greatest stuff, but kind of neat. And then later that day, I got some great. This is really pretty. Got some sunset anvil crawlers. How's that? Let's see what else we got. So every day was just something amazing. Then the next day, I'll show you. Well, I'll show you some Red Sprite video. Well, no, I can't do that because they're really long clips and I couldn't find them. The next day, we've got a really brief tornado. Yeah, it's not. I don't know where it is on that clip, but all right. Here's the big stuff. Here's the pretty awesome stuff. So, let's see. So this is crazy, as you've seen in the picture. This is a tornado. Look at that. Horizontal vortice, and then it bends down to the ground, and then here's the next one developing here. So that one's here. We'll do kind of a. So that was an amazing tornado, and then that turns into this. And then I got that little rope and was able to speed. So that, now I have to get out of that tornado's way, and that turned into this. So this is the tornado that we're catching the data on. And then I run in to help the people, and I point the camera at the tornado, and then I run inside to help, and the tornado goes off. So and then there's other tornadoes that I haven't shown you guys from back in the season. So with that, what do you say we wrap it up, get out of the damn house and go outside and have an awesome day? The Troy Aikman Nader, is he from Henrietta, Oklahoma? Melissa? You know we love Troy Aikman down here in Texas. Yeah, guys, great year, and we still have a whole month to go. Don't tell anybody that I shared that footage with you. That's secret. I trust you guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much for everything. It feels good to have a good year, that I'm able to deliver the goods to you guys. And I'll get this Dr. Lee Orff video to you guys as soon as possible, and then all that. Play some La Malédiction. Okay. All right, you guys can go now. I had a request. Dans le marais, la belle jaune fille voit le poulet de la dent, le cœur de la forêt, présent dans le marais, et le poulet voit la joie de la danse. Elle n'a jamais vu la déception, la malédiction de la danse du poulet. Elle n'a jamais vu la déception, la malédiction de la danse du poulet. Cerclé dans le sang, charme de le toile filant de l'amour couleur rouge. Sous la belle jeune fille, cerclé dans le sang, charme de le toile filant, et le diable trouve la reine des derniers. Elle n'a jamais vu la déception, la malédiction de la danse du poulet. Elle n'a jamais vu la déception, la malédiction de la danse du poulet. Can you hear Joe Bird? Adios, amigos, or whatever. I forgot how you say that.